Oh, hello. It's time for Top Dice. Hi, and welcome to Top Dice. My name's Aid, and we've got Chris with us as well, my usual co-host.
Hi
And
guys.
today we're going to talk about neurodiversity. In this particular instance, it's going to be Chris that will be the centre of attention. Chris, neurodiversity and neurodiverse conditions. Uh, you have been diagnosed.
Yes.
Would you like to sort of tell us what it is?
Right. Yes. Um, Basically, long story short, parents always thought there was something um, different, there's something going on. I was born in 1977. Different time back then. Nobody really understood. People were trying to. It was all very much sort of unknown. And then all the way through my life, I kind of sort of struggled and sort of was various different things that were sort of suggested, and then it was only in 2017 I was diagnosed with ADHD. Um, that itself is difficult to do, but that's a subject for another day. Anyway, diagnosed with that, and then though I am undiagnosed, but anyone who knows me or medical professionals are basically like dual diagnosis with Asperger's as well. I can't remember what it's called anymore. I think they may have changed the name. I think it's something like ASD or something like that. But at the time of my diagnosis, it was still called Asperger's. Apologies if that upsets anybody. But because I've never been diagnosed with it, I've never really sort of looked into it much and taken on board. So, yeah, that's what I've got.
Okay. Right. Now, obviously, these conditions have an effect on your perceptions of yourself and others.
Yes.
So, gaming related, how does this affect you at the gaming table?
Um, okay, player wise, I'm an absolute nightmare. I have been separated from other players and sat next to other people at times because I go on um, sort of crazy sort of diversions. I'll be laughing and joking when the poor GM is trying to do something. Um, I can be quite immature at times, depending on who I'm with. Um, sort of someone that I've been gaming with for ages. We have little in jokes, things like that. Because I just don't know when to shut up. Um, you know, it it can be incredibly disrespectful to the poor person whose game I'm sat around the table for, because they're like, shut up, quiet, Um, that over the years, I really do try my best not to do that because it's, you know, bloody rude, guys. It's not nice. So if someone is telling you to be quiet and things like that, do your best to listen. That's my piece of advice for that one.
It's not always the easiest thing to
And
do
it's
because,
not,
again, you
no.
don't, the perception is different. This
Yeah.
is the
The problem is, I'll be sat around the gaming table, and it's my number one favorite interest. I get all excited, the adrenaline kicks in, it's like, and I just want to like charge ahead at 1,000 miles an hour and play this game. The problem is, don't tend to think about what's going on around me and the sort of needs of other people sometimes. It's like if I'm running a game, I get annoyed if someone's talking, doing the same thing that I do sometimes as a player. So, you know, it's funny because it can make you an absolute hypocrite. It's really weird because what you're quite happy to do when other people do it, oh god, no, that's the worst in the world. It's like bloody players, sort of I hate this group at times. Can't you just shut up and get on with it because I'm trying to run a game here. Now, but it also allows me to sort of fully immerse myself in a situation and sort of really sort of almost sort of drown, drown in the details, if you know what that means, sort of, if that makes sense.
Becomes quite obsessive then.
So, yeah, because like, you'll sort of research it, you'll watch all the TV show, you'll read all the comics, turn up every week, whatever game it is, and in some cases buy the game so you can run it yourself, which is brilliant.
Yeah,
Can be quite expensive.
it can be,
No.
but there's also the positives as well. So,
Yeah.
positives.
Positives. It's, let me think, positives as a player. Very, like I said, very sort of, you get really into it. You can sort of get an awful sense of fulfillment, enjoyment, and
Well, this is something I've witnessed with you. Straight away, you do get into it. That's a
yeah,
huge.
it's like whatever's going on in your life, a good game of hell, a good game of any role playing game. Don't care what it is. I've always said I'll play anything. There's things I won't run, but I'll if I turned up to someone's house and they're like, "Oh, you're just in time for a role playing game," it doesn't matter what it is. It could be Dungeons and Dragons. It could be something they've made up. I love playing people's homebrew stuff. It's brilliant because it's like what's come from their head onto the table. With an imagination that generally has no brakes on it, I can I can usually join in. It's quite cool. You see, that's something that people don't understand sometimes because like there are misconceptions. Some people who are neurodivergent, I'm only speaking for myself, do have quite an active creative imagination. Now,
You do yourself.
yeah,
That's the
I've
bottom
never,
line.
yeah, see, I've never understood people who say, "Oh, you know, people on, like, this, that, and the other, they just don't know how to create and things like that." And it's like, well, yes, we can, we do. It's just, not to be rude, you don't know what you're talking about. It's stereotyping, which is really annoying. Partly why I'm keen to now do these videos because one, I'm not ashamed of what I've got and who it's made me become and how it's shaped me. I used to be. I'm not hiding anymore. So here I am. I'm on the internet and all that. Yeah, it's like, you know, this is what you can do with it. Yeah, you've got a condition you were born with, and it's got its good days and bad days, but you can, you know, grab that ball by both horns and just go for it and do it. And you can, you can have an amazing time with it. Other positives are
The the attention to detail as a
uh,
GM works really well as well.
explaining things over the years. I've learned to use kind of like sight, sound, smell, various other things, taking on board the recommendations of others. Um, I love I love being in groups with different GMs and things like that. You'll go, oh god, yeah, this guy does this. She did that, they did that bit, and you bring it all together, and you can create your own style. It's quite good. And then there's with players being what they are, doing strange, weird things in games when you're running it, and you think, I'm, running a preset adventure. There's a set series of events, and then, as we all know, players go, "Oh, I'm going to do this, blah blah blah." So it sets all off. You have to go somewhere else. the ability to improvise and sort of think on the fly is quite useful. Sort of, I know outwardly I kind of talk quite, I talk quite slow, but but if you put me behind a GM screen, I don't know what happened. It's like if you put me behind the wheel of a car, I'm completely focused. It's weird. Where I come more alive and go, right, okay, do this, but it all fires off. It's weird. It all works. I think it's something to do with being in sort of a safe, self-controlled area, like a car, for example. If it's your car and you own it and you sit in your driver's seat, everything's where it should be. You leave it where it is. You come back and it's there. It's all sorted. It's set up. When you're running your games as a neurodivergent person, you are in control of everything. You can set the speed of the adventure. You know what happens, what the NPCs do, which is more important. How the world reacts to the players. And even down to things if you're using things like music and effects and things like that, you set the volume. Things like that. So yeah, generally it's to do with control's a bad word. I'll go with it anyway, but
Yeah.
it's like how sort of how the game, you're in full control of how the game's going. So yeah, that works.
Props as well. You've come
Yeah,
with some amazing props. There's the map that you did for the Caribbean adventures.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
behind me.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
people.
that's
Yeah,
just one. That's just one thing. So
yeah,
there's
yeah,
a lot of positives. What we're trying to put over here, folks, is yeah, there are some negatives with
yeah.
neurodiversity, but there's also quite a
There
lot of
are
positives.
I mean, I will just touch on the negatives for the moment, but I'm going to do it briefly. There are negatives. One of them's behind me. If you look behind, it's like masses of books. It can take over. And on a personal, I'm in this video. This is all my own personal experiences. Everyone else's is different. Love to hear the feedback on that. I'd love to have, if you're up for it, and it's all about, I'm not going to force anyone. If you do want to come and talk, it would be great to hear other people's experiences. Anyway, like I was saying, the bad things. I can become quite obsessed at the at the sort of detriment of other people. I will, I have become and do become completely lost within the hobby to the point where I ignore everything, bills, people, and just get, go down this rabbit hole. I've become quite selfish in it and things like that. And it's only due to the lovely partner of mine, Andrea, she'll kill me for naming her, dragging me back now and again and just going, look, everyone else is still here, and it's sort of like, politely sort of like, come on, and get on with it, because without her, I'd have been completely lost. Also, she helped me with my stammer, which was another no, which was another hindrance to sort of speaking and things like that. Having a stammer is not a problem. Anyone who gets sort of discriminated against, because it is a disability, that is disgraceful. And she helped break it. And I don't usually stammer anymore unless I'm really, really tired or massively nervous about something. Usually now when I meet famous people at conventions, I go all weird and go, oh, I can't speak to you, and sort of like stammer and kind of like run off like some weirdo. So yeah, that's not good. Oh, that's another bad thing as well that I do. Again, must apologise if I offend anyone. There is an aspect of sort of unacceptable sort of line crossing, as it were. Like like run off like a weirdo. I know that's probably not acceptable. I do apologise. But I've done that in games and things like that. I've sort of if I'm doing like horror stuff, it's like it's all or nothing, all out gore. And it's sort of like I love the whole shock value, sort of like like sort of the way like Rob Zombie and sort of Alice Cooper and Marilyn Manson do on stage. It's like shock. It's like let's get like a shock value. It's like you find something in a beer barrel. This is gem. There'll be lots of weird stuff going on. As a player, I've done things that are sort of a bit shocky and a bit sort of. I've pushed game. I've pushed
You push
game.
boundaries, basically.
Yeah.
That's the, yeah. I think it's safe to say that. Okay.
Personally, I think it's good. It's good to do. Sometimes the other players haven't appreciated it, and in hindsight, I could have been more mindful, and I could have maybe spoken to people first, because nobody likes really, I suppose, having their character mutilated and then killed by another character. I've done that on multiple occasions. But in my defense, the GM said I could, and we were playing a vampire, and he was a mage, and I was a vampire. So
Yeah, it's all within a game. That's what it's all about at the table. Okay, well, we'll kind of wrap things up now. Is there a high point you want to finish on? We've covered quite a bit of positives, quite a few of the negatives. In fact, lots of the negatives. What about the top highs?
highs have been
Give us.
with role playing. Yeah, uh, having people enjoy your games and talking about them for years and years and years and years. There's nothing like it. It's like a drug. It really does. It it gets you back to that gaming table or online, wherever. It's just amazing. That to me is a huge positive, and
It is.
I do enjoy. Uh, what did we say? Low.
No, that's it. We'll stick with the high. We've covered the lows. We've got
Go
the
out.
highs.
Yeah.
Oh, there
Basically,
we go.
actually, not a second one. It's the ability to tell stories with your friends.
Yeah.
There's nothing else I know that 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 sort of does it. And if you're lucky enough to find a group of people who share the same interest, look after them and keep hold of them because they're brilliant. So yes, and also thank you for listening, guys. And I really would like to hear your sort of views and opinions. If you're neurodivergent or if you're not, come and talk to us. Because it's all about
Yeah.
sort of spreading the word and sort of making it a far better place for everyone.
Yeah, community is what we're actually here for. Right. Well, thank you very much, Chris. Remember to click subscribe and do feel free to pass comments actually on this video. And this is Aidan Chris from Top Dice. We'll see you soon. Goodbye for now.
Bye.